afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. Master Propaganda Hero, like Defender of the Fatherland, off here to a 1 vs 1 owner. Crossing in the woods in the north, it's G.A.T or G.A.T. A Korean player. I'm not entirely sure who he is. I'm guessing it's Tiramisu, since he likes to change his name a lot, and I just call him Tiramisu because that's sort of the one name I can sort of get to stick in my head. Oh wait, G.A.T, he is fighting a recon support mechanized company in heavy cavalry burst in the south. It's Panzergrenadier Angreifen, fighting for the German army of Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the... let's just say Panzerdivision with mobile defense. An interesting choice here versus G.A.T's recon support. And he's by... I also didn't mention that, but he's fighting here for the... First Armored Division here versus the Panzerlehr. Double Infantry Panzerfaust versus Triple Infantry there for G.A.T. Double Rifle there, Grenadiers MG42. Angreifen aggressively westwards there, trying to secure territory here and ensure he doesn't get, blocked out by a push here by G.A.T. But G.A.T so far is focusing eastwards, though he's clearly setting up for push westwards. I'm guessing he's assuming that Angreifen's going to be pushing southwards, in which case he is assumed correctly. So there we go. Still, mobile defense is not a doctrine we see a lot of after they changed the Puma, so you can't just rely on calling it in and then calling command tanks. I'll still see some from time to time using just to get a command tank. But beyond that, it's not really been much else to say. So let's see if Angreifen can maybe do something a bit more with the doctrine. Rifle moving up, MG4 moving forwards. I mean, he's basically trying to set up in a good position ahead of time as possible. Grenadiers in this case able to sort of keep this quickly support in case, there might be some attempt to roll run it. And there you go. First engagement, Grenadiers moving up on the cover of the MG42. Very much how it's supposed to be done. Second Grenadiers got ready there for Angreifen. He's going to lag them up to support here. Third rifle's gone away there for G.A.T. Pioneers are wiring off a lot of cover here to deny them to G.A.T to, secure future fighting. Machine gun back up the Grenadiers. He's going to flush out the Americans. The Dustman, his left flank is open to the right moving in here. Grenadiers, though, 2 squads here should be able to deal with it. And there you go, 1 squad we're dealing with it. All of them can bring up to support here as well. Pioneers joining in as well. So right here, G.A.T's attempt to flank the MG42 may not quite work out the way to hope for. If he had grenades, he could have done it. Most American players will not go for grenades this early into the game, since I imagine they don't usually find themselves in the situation where they can actually use a grenade this well early on. All the way, the rifle now being assailed. There we got more rifle coming in, but again the situation there is going to be a bit dicey. Pioneers rushing for the house, looks like they'll be able to get it, denying the house to the rifleman, leaving the other squad here exposed as cut off. Nice push there by Angreifen, leaving G.A.T in a sticky position as the Panzerlehr successfully advances for the fatherland. Back here, third Grenadier squad almost done. G.A.T here will likely go for some fast tech. It's going to be the company command post, very popular with American players. Anti-tank guns, captains, anti-aircraft taft and pack houses, all the goods. Pioneers moving forward to the car point. We see that Angreifen is moving very aggressive there, very aggressive machine gun play, backing up the Pioneer. Sandbags on the car point as well. He's going to try and basically pin down G.A.T here in the early game and damage as many resources as possible as Angreifen then tries to swoop ahead there. Bold play, and certainly an attempt to decisively end things as fast as possible. Take over there happening for Angreifen. Pioneers with the cover flank backed up by the Grenadiers, and before they come out the car point, 1 squad already halted. Other squad would like not on the flank, but still coming on fire for the MG42. He's going to have to go for multi early on maybe to deal with Angreifen. We'll have to see what he ends up doing. Rather than moving up on the flank, MG42 is going to be forced to reposition now, as ultimately Angreifen's position was not super amazing, and they're almost losing the machine gun here. That definitely be helpful there for G.A.T if he could get a wipe on the MG42, but still getting a retreat that's going to be helpful. But the major issue, of course, is he's still being denied a lot of resources here by Angreifen. He's cutting off Angreifen's fuel point down there, taking advantage of Angreifen focusing on his car point to at least push southwards there. But even then, it's not exactly a great start when your opponent's getting twice as much fuel you are per minute. So, good play there by Angreifen, strong, and more importantly, didn't end up suffering needless losses. I mean, if he'd suffered any full wipes there, for example, this could have been a lot less great there for Angreifen. And he was able to, I think, trade quite efficiently. Avoid any wipes. Didn't get any wipes either on G.A.T though, but avoiding them while still doing this kind of resource disruption is good. Going straight for the eastern fuel point then. Mortar following up here for G.A.T and the 1st Armoured Division. Point there being seized in the west. Back here, troops reinforcing. Light mechanized company got there for Angreifen. Grenadiers reinforcing. We got no light machines, I think, on the way here for Angreifen as of yet. In there, Grenadiers going to be assaulted. They're going to need support. We got 1 Grenadier squad coming up there to do exactly that. And there we go. 1 squad being upgraded. The light machine moving westwards. Captain equipped with the BAR, the Browning automatic rifle, a World War I era weapon. Though it came only at the very end of the war, and so didn't really see a lot of usage there, if any. That's a fun side note there. MD fortunately up to back up the troops here. Very good. And he gets a wipe on the captain. The only sort of bit of luck there for G.A.T is at least the captain didn't drop the bar. That would have been much worse there for G.A.T. It would have been pretty helpful there for Angreifen. Going to jumping on the rifle, they're going to be in a bad spot there. But interesting enough, Angreifen is retreating here. Possibly worried about something. I'm not entirely sure either way, though. It could also have been a misclick there. I think the gunner is because he's beaten the rifle there with the LMG 42 in hand. But again, for whatever reasons, the gunner is retreated. Mortar on the way there for Angreifen, probably to A, support his own men, but also imagine possibly counter it. Then again, considering he only just got to fire now, he may not have been aware of it. Either way, having a mortar would certainly give him a nice broad combined arm suite. Infantry, machine guns, and mortars. That's way to cover up a lot of areas. Who just need some anti-tank, and he's going to need some anti-tank once the half-track hits. I mean, there's a theoretical option. Russia's heading tech and then gets out a Puma, which of course requires the next battle phase, which is likely what's causing a lot of players just to, not go for it, because if you're already taking up, why go for a Puma? We'll have to see what Angreifen's answer to this question is. What could cause you to still want to use it if you've tagged up? After the almost done mortar fire raining back and forth between the two sides. And he's moving up here. Bit low on health and numbers. Might want to pull that one back for a medic bunker being constructed on the base. I think that would benefit Angreifen a bunch there. S-mines on the center area here. Nice work. Angreifen is one of the few players I can consistently name as actually using S-mines well consistently. In fact, I think he's the only one. Most players just tend never to really use S-mines at all, but Angreifen is very much on point when it comes to using S-mines against his opponents. He also tends to be one of the more devious users of it at the same time. So, thumbs up there to Angreifen. That definitely deserves some credit. Pack 40 on the way there in the southwest. He ran back the fuel point. He had so painstakingly staked out with barbed wire. Little notes telling the Americans to not try and steal this. By decree of the Führer, Americans are not supposed to take this. What does it say, Carl? I don't know, I don't speak German. Probably telling us to wash our hands. Anyways, bunker up there's going to need to get medics up fast. What obviously he's taking up soon. We got the Pack 40 out here, the Panzerabwehrkanone 40. No, but I was actually, I think, not the first anti-tank with that caliber. That was actually a Pack 39. I think it was the Pack. Yeah, I think it was the Pack 39 there, which was actually, I think, in some cases more powerful. But it used tungsten rounds, and tungsten was actually incredibly rare to get in Germany, so they had to drop that one and just switch over to the Pack 40. But I think the other one was actually more powerful. They also used it for a bit, and then of course had to scrap it because they didn't have any more ammunition for it. Still fun note. They're more trying to half fire here from the half track. MG42 with 3 echelons, looking for mines. 8, of course, S mines, but also certainly the possibility of telemines. And it never hurts to assume your opponent knows what he's doing with mines. Pack 40 on the half to there, taking down to half health. Gets away though. It's a nice save there by G.A.T, who has gone for heavy cavalry, opening up for Rangers, smoke screens, Pershings. Most likely just Pershings, if we sort of go by the American average player's usage of it. Sort of, I mean, if you were to just create this massive chart, just of American heavy cavalry users and which ability they use, I mean, you'll find most of them, the vast majority of them, just use it for the Pershing, and then there'll be some again who use the mines, a few use the Rangers. Most, nice bunch use the smoke, and next to notably using combined arms. But there you go. Rangers out here for G.A.T, so proving himself as one of the better heavy cavalry users already there. Rangers actually pretty good. It's just, in most cases, Riflemen are just also really good. So the Rangers, while pretty good, just don't see much use because of that. Still, Rangers with Thompsons can do a lot of heavy damage, particularly if you know how to flank with them. And sort of get them behind the enemy, they can just quickly, hose down any, offending Germans. So Angreifen struggling a bit here around the fuel points. G.A.T here, of course, is picking up more steam. The half-tech proving to be a bit of a problem there for Angreifen. Plus, of course, now the addition of Rangers. Tech-up also happening for Angreifen and the Panzerdivision, one of the few divisions to actually receive the Puma before it was discontinued in production and they moved on to other armoured car versions. There was I think, actually 2 Panzer divisions, maybe 3 that received the Puma. Possibly 4, but it wasn't actually a lot of divisions that received the Puma before they basically just stopped production of them. So there's a little fun fact, which again may not be quite commonly known. Gonna lose moving up eastwards here. We shall see what ends up with Angreifen though. Agents thinking about more to secure the point. Get use of the mortar there, I suppose. If he's got nothing else to shoot at, might as well use it to grab points. Halfing on the Grenadiers, then nice work. Finding him on the eastern point. Almost got all three Grenadiers equipped with LMG 42s. Rangers moving up, the Thompsons. That's going to have to be, I think, swift retreat here. Rangers here caught the Grenadiers in a bad spot, and again, threatening a bit of the retreat here. Already got two of the Grenadiers. Probably can get a third kill. I don't think he can secure a wipe though. Ooh, MG4's going to try and set up there. Quickly veers off. He should have probably just try and pop smoke here with the dark tunnel smoke. But I guess he decided that wasn't worth it. So what will Angreifen go for? Will he try and go for the Puma? He's just going to go and tech up. I mean, so far he actually hasn't used the doctrine. Oh, wait, there we go. We got the first doctrinal usage ability. It is the Austrian Reserves. Calling up two squads there. From this case representing a smattering of other sort of assorted troops that have been used to quickly reinforce, which happened a lot during Normandy. Good case example this can, for example, be read in the book Normandy Front, which is about the 352nd Infantry Division, which was allowed to basically sort of get replacements by just grabbing up whatever was available from other smaller units, either troops on leave or Reichsarbeitsdienst, or for that matter just Luftwaffe security crews from flak weapons, all sorts of things there. Little fun fact there. After it takes an ask from the Pack 40, but this does mean Angreifen has gone from 3 to 5 infantry squads, just one leap, including also adding an extra light machine gun here. Obviously, the Austrian squads in that sense don't cut as much until it's 5 infantry squads, when he can push more broader frontages against G.A.T. So the Austrian definitely needs to be better supported than other bits, but still, it's more infantry. And that shouldn't be, I think, taken too lightly either. So what will he go for next? I mean, he could still go for the Puma, or he could just go for the bomber car move ahead. And if he does go for the Puma, where does Angreifen then go for that? Does he still go for the bomber core? Does he actually try to use the Puma to, go for tier 4? I mean, that would make sense. In which case, mobile defense is based sort of more like, the skip tier 3 doctrine in a sense, if you will. Which is certainly what some players already like to do, so I mean, it could be an option. I was thinking, certainly not faring too well versus the Rangers. Never really stood a chance there, to be honest. Big 2 points wise, got his guy on our seat of Angreifen, 436 with 396, so nice, but not, big. We can go for the Puma now, I think, if that is what he so desires. There we go. We actually do get a Puma. We get, I think, the first Puma in quite some time. In fact, first ever, I think, ever since the doctrine was nerfed. So that's quite interesting there from Angreifen. Let's see, of course, how he makes use of it. Rather than the fire from the Grenadiers, double light machines, they're spraying them with enthusiastic German lead. Machine coming up here. The Bazooka team's on the way as well there for G.A.T. Major as well to be able to push out for armor soon, while Angreifen's only now getting out the Puma with 234-2. Ooh, machine repositioning just as the Major moves up. You can actually call in artillery. In fact, that's exactly what he does. Puma almost done, and there we go. We've got our first Wehrmacht Puma in quite some time. Achtung, baby. Moving forwards there. Artillery smashing down there. Back here, troops reinforcing. Puma so far not moving up. Should probably get the one moving fast up though. We'll have to see how G.A.T reacts to that, because how many Wehrmacht players nowadays goes for Pumas? And I'm pretty sure you can count that on one finger. Even if you've lost a few fingers to industrial accidents or very enthusiastic cats. Pioneers moving up there. Rangers moving up through the centre. Puma hanging back here. That little fun design feature there. As you can see, there's a bit of a slit there. It's actually because the Puma and the 234 armoured car in general actually had an extra seat and extra driver's position that allowed the driver to quickly switch positions and then just quickly move it the other way around. It was a feature shared by Italian armoured cars as well. Fun fact. Captain on the way there for G.A.T to replace the one lost. Not a bad idea, since he's still in most cases an above average rifle squad thanks to the Thompson. More Thomasing out there by Angreifen's Grenadiers with light machine guns. Oh, we finally got the Puma on the move there. Took him quite a bit of while there. I guess there wasn't any major need for it still. He's going to go there for the half track. Will G.A.T be ready for the arrival of the Puma? There you go, direct hit from the 50mm cannon. Pierces the half track, and I imagine shocks G.A.T to his very core, as his understanding of the meta is shattered like frail glass, encountering the baseball of reality. Anyways, point there being secured back here, troops healing enforcing, and he goes for the tier 4, so he's using the Puma basically to facilitate a tier 4 move here, using the Puma just to keep medium armor and other light vehicles at bay alongside a Pack 40 as he then moves to the next tier. That's definitely an interesting strategy. It's definitely an interesting strategy, and definitely, you know, at this stage, rather unique. I mean, we'll see if it could catch on, but it's definitely something else. So, you know, props there to Angreifen. Thumbs up, actually. Of course, it also comes up for his remaining Ostrom squad being equipped with a light machine gun, so it has more than one benefit for Germany. Grenadiers heading out there, all holding light machine guns. Pioneers good to go. Captain going for the curve point here. Back here, Puma moving westwards, grabbing the eastern fuel. Now the MG42 there for Angreifen. Rangers pushing back the Ostrom. After going up there, 6 kills, Veteran 2. Puma opening up the rifleman, closing in on Veteran 1 already. I'll bring up another machine. There's all these infantry forces, a really good idea for Angreifen compared to G.A.T has brought in no heavy machine guns. He's still using only the half track to contain all of Angreifen's infantry, even the Ostrom. Puma then hops through the half track, but the half track is making a swift and clean getaway here. Almost got the Major there. Bazooka team moving up to protect the half track against the Puma. Puma shoots, misses. Bazooka fire there flying through the skies in the west. We got Rangers moving up. He could clear out a lot of the elements there for Angreifen. Sherman almost done as well for G.A.T and the first armoured. Rangers there pinned down by the MD42. Position nice there by Angreifen. Goes for the half track, but there you go. Bazooka team was in wait. Nice little bait there by G.A.T throwing off Angreifen. And you know, taking out a nice chunk of the Puma's health. Still, heavy Panzer Corps is up. He will be able to go for Panthers eventually. We'll have to see if he does that, or he goes for Storm Panzers. But I would say with this kind of strategy, you probably want to consider Panthers. All the way Sherman tank out there for G.A.T. We'll have to see if he might actually set up for Pershing at some point, in which case you should probably consider fuel cache to assist with that particular strategic goal. Grenadiers was arriving in the west, closing the Metz fleet. Grenadiers moving westwards as well. Back here, Puma being fixed up for Germany. Sherman got the 5th caliber adders as well. Very good.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Also, big thanks to Simon Sun for donating and supporting the Propagandacast. Big thanks to you. Love you, Simon, anyways. Moving up here, and the west point's being secured. Sherman moving on the Ostrom, slashing through them with high explosive rounds. Pioneers moving out. Pack 40 Puma moving about as well here. Sherman moving out. Puma moving in. Close Veterans 1 there and target weak point. Grenadiers right here by the Sherman. There we go. Direct hit on the Sherman, but the Sherman gets a direct hit on the Puma as well. And obviously the Sherman hit has a much bigger impact on the Puma than the other way around. Victory points wise is 378 versus 369. It's actually pretty close here, but with the tiny hit of Angreifen, there you go. The Bazooka team almost picks up Angreifen's Puma here. Can he save it? Looks like most likely. And he's got Ostrom as the captain. Light machine in light card as his captain in no real cover. Situation for Angreifen is looking a bit bleak here as G.A.T is gaining control of the map here. We got more forces being dispatched eastward to at least claim back the eastern fuel point, but that is itself then open to a flank here from G.A.T. So nice move there by G.A.T. Puma's getting repairs fast, and the mortar is about to go down. That's definitely a bit of a mistake there by Angreifen. Probably lost sight of things, which can happen during heated fighting, and unsurprisingly, the sort of thing is going to be death. Pack 40 there gaining Veterans 1, targeting point open, going in with the Puma there possibly as well. Might try and here and take out the Sherman, but I think that might be a bit too ambitious. And these Grenadiers here holding back the American troops. Almost got to wipe in the reactions with the bazookas. And what is this? We got counter-attack tactics. Wow, there's actually 3 abilities possibly for if you use Panzer Tactician. I can't remember that, but still. Mobile counter-attack tanks not actually an ability that's used a lot, despite being able to grab territories faster once they've been rendered neutral. So you can see that it's happening really fast. It's actually in that regard a pretty good ability, which kind of makes it sort of funny that most players actually go for the doctrine, they make use of it because it is good. You can now just use a lot more territory much faster. So it's definitely not an ability to scoff at. Again, as you can see, they just, rather than normal, which can take usually a minute, it takes seconds. Close to a minute. There you go. Mortar wiped out. Nice work there. Will he try and grab back the mortar here? Yes, indeed he will. But he's going to need something to deal with the half-track. Puma quickly doing that. Heavy Panzer Corps remains silent so far. Panther and Sturmpanzer are not exactly within range. Ostrom squad hold about half-track. They do manage to get a Panzerfaust off. Counter-attack tactics has one off still. That is 3 abilities so far used compared with the ranges so far of G.A.T. I don't think we've seen any mines. Well, we've got sandbags up, but I don't think we've seen any mines from G.A.T. I may have missed them. I mean, so far Angreifen definitely has the better usage of doctrine going on. Another pack 40 on the way there. Could be a Sturmpanzer then, since I mean double pack 40 with a Sturmpanzer would be half bad. Then again, it could do with the Panther. Rangers moving through the right flank here. And Bazooka team backing up there, getting a nice hit on the Puma there. Second pack 40 out there for Angreifen, and the Panzer to be short. Grenadiers on the 5.5 check, which is closing in. There we go, hitting the ace level. Grenadiers pushed back by that combined force. Big 2 points, got Fin 46. Well, there you go. Puma strikes at the Sherman, doing a bit of damage to pack 40. Though gets possibly in the way. No, close one there. That could have been a very unfortunate end there for Angreifen's Puma. Or at least it would be close to the Sherman or the Panther then. G.A.T quickly commits to another Sherman tank here, bringing the total number of tanks up to 2. As Angreifen gets ever closer, bringing up his total number of tanks to 1. Rangers on watch, half time about there. Sherman halfway done, moving westwards, really good. Puma scouting about here, looking for targets to hit with its 50mm cannon. They're going to tank and shoots and misses the Puma. That's a bit lucky there for Angreifen. Moving westwards, seizing westwards, we've got 304 versus 369. The situation certainly looking a bit bleak here for Angreifen. But he can go for the Panther now, he can go for the mighty Panzerkampfwagen 5. And in the west, the Pioneers combined with the MD-42 right, a big push there from G.A.T. in the centre, showing up, he backed up with half-tracks and the tank guns, threatening there to cut off Angreifen's push for the west. And his force going to quick commit a lot of his forces to counter and repel this advance by G.A.T. He's got, of course, 200 tanks, so he can certainly deal with the vehicles and tanks to a degree here. But the Puma's going to find himself in a bad spot. He's not exactly good in head-on engagements like this. Almost got the Shermans out of the pack 40, very good. Rangers there being suppressed, heavy machine gun fire posing them with the lead, half to there suppressing the mortar, and the tank that got cleared out on the other hand. Nice work there. Pack 40 something up there on the anti-tank guns, destroying them before G.A.T can recruit them. Very good work there, and leaving a bit sad, I imagine. Going for the mortar next. G.A.T there needs to retreat it, but in fact could be too late. The Ostrom are quickly making short work of the half-track Sherman, doing what they can. Pack 40 now to deal with the other Sherman. There you go. Double hit there, easily piercing the Sherman's armor like a hot knife through butter. Rifle Major moving up here, could catch it with a artillery strike, but guess he doesn't. G.A.T rapidly calling on the anti-tank gun. In the meanwhile, Angreifen is finally going for the Panther. I would say a bit late there. Could have out probably a minute sooner, roughly, but could have been worse, I suppose. Could have been several minutes, he's just been dealing with it. Sherman they're firing away though. 8 kills, Vestinci 1 in the west fighting around here as well. Flanking the machine gun, nice play there by G.A.T. But also worth noting that both players recently making use of most of the map here. They're not just over-focusing on one point, but the centre does seem to be a bit more focused on the other parts. But still there's a lot of good maneuvering. For example, see here Angreifen now switching forces eastwards. those Sherman can easily react to that. And of course, similarly, having gone westwards, I mean, G.A.T's already counter-attacking there. More pioneers for Angreifen to repair his armor. Good idea. Noting, I think, still no mines here from G.A.T. I mean, again, overall, his doctrinal usage has been a bit on the weaker side compared here with Angreifen. Still, I mean, I think only used 3 again. I can't remember just Panzer Tactician. Again, if he has, I mean, that would put him in 4, almost having a full bingo. But there you go. We got the Panzerkampfwagen 5 here for Angreifen, Germany, Deutschland. Germans sending out here 8 kills, veterans 1, Panther moving up, adding the Pinlight machine gun, Pioneers going for the centre. And there you go, Sherman here and Panther almost, well, they are larger within range. They just can't see each other. And there you go. Rifle engine ring, and there you go. Sherman opens up here with the machine guns, giving away its position to the Panther, which gets turns back to deal with that. In the centre, we got the Sherman there trying to flank the Puma, but instead it's met with double anti-tank guns. Units seen wiped out. That is the anti-tank gun number 2. Got there. Counter-attack tactical launches point C's swiftly. And the Sherman goes down too slow to get out of there. No use of smoke there by G.A.T. That's definitely an oversight there. Makes it easier there for Angreifen. So that's Sherman kaput. Anti-tank recruit, but all the other getting hit with light machine and rifle grenade fire. Anti-tank went up to take care of the half-tech. Almost got it already as well. Definitely a bit of a rubbish engagement here for G.A.T. as Angreifen is just hitting him with everything he has. Anti-tank opening out, and he's trying to take out the Puma. Almost gets it, doesn't quite. There you go. We got the half of the Panther moving in here, sweeping behind G.A.T's front line, going here for the half-tech. Shoots the Sherman instead as it blocks the retreat here. Panther is not deterred, and tank coming up to deal with it. The Super team moving up as well here. Just pack fire there, and the Sherman number 2 goes down. Oh, he's going for another Sherman. He's almost got the Panther, but this has been a brutal engagement here for G.A.T. A poorly committed assault, I would almost say here. In fact, I will say it. Versus Angreifen, I would say solid defense is completely broken. G.A.T. I mean, he just never used smoke, either from the Shermans, from the dogs, or even from his mortars. I also used smoke there, so I mean, that more or less means he's got, you know, almost full doctrinal bingo, and he's been consistently using counter-attack tactics as well there, so definitely a bit of an oversight there by G.A.T. that he did not use smoke to pull in from the assault there, because that really, I think, made it much easier, you know, not get his tanks murdered by the packs. Instead, G.A.T. ended up making the job not exactly too difficult. I mean, he might, you know, more or less just slap the tank on the roof and said this tank can fit in so many armor-piercing shells from the outside. Puma going here for the Rangers. Veteran 2 there. Quickly snaps Sergeant Jones. And Bobby joins in there as well. Holy smokes, this Puma's on fire. It's just killing almost one with every shot from the main gun. That's 5 shots, 4 kills. Jesus. There's one hell of a Puma there. Wait, Fritz, where did you learn to shoot like that? Well, you know, places. What places? Bavaria. Panther fix up again. Well, right now, G.A.T's in a really sticky spot. I think he's going for the Pershing now. But, I mean, he's got a victory point lead still. Losing all of that in that situation was really not good for him. Again, it was a not very well executed assault here against, I'd say, a solid defense there from Angreifen, and he paid a big price there. As a heavy butcher's bill he had to go through there. Comparatively, Angreifen didn't particularly lose a lot there. I mean, basically, G.A.T just failed to really neutralize most of the core elements of the defense and disrupt it, making it much easier for Angreifen just to focus down the different elements of G.A.T's attacking, you know, whatever order he wanted. I mean, again, had to use smoke to perhaps, you know, just obfuscate and isolate different parts of the defense. I mean, him and just positioning most of his stuff here, for example, would have been a much more dangerous move for Angreifen. But again, by lacking smoke, it became a lot easier for, you know, Angreifen just to fend off G.A.T. Pushing through the east here, though. I mean, obviously G.A.T is not out of the fight yet, but he suffered a massive setback with that one, and Angreifen's actually not full pop cap. Whereas G.A.T is not even halfway there. So while not impossible, things became a lot more challenging. We also got BARs up there. G.A.T, though, is getting very close to the Pershing. You can just grab a fuel point. Had you set up fuel cache maybe a bit sooner when you had time for it, you might be able to get out of Pershing sooner. Machine gunner holding up some elements, Rifle doing when they can. Panther, Puma also joining in the fun here. Almost got a wipe here on the rifleman, taking heavy fire there. Got a full retreat here from G.A.T. Still no smoke, by the way. He just does not use smoke. Oh dear, mortar wiped out. First armor division is looking in a pretty bad spot here against the Panzer Division. Very close to the Pershing. He's almost got the fuel. I mean, he easily has the manpower. He just needs the fuel. The question, of course, is can the Pershing turn the game around Angreifen now against him? I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, the Pershing is very strong in that sense. I mean, it's excellent versus infantry and also handle most armor, but Angreifen still has 200 tank guns. He still has the Puma backing up the Panther. And that certainly is going to make it harder, I think, for G.A.T to make any sort of push. But there you go, he's moving westwards. That's definitely the right move. Right now, what he should not be doing is looking for an Angreifen to get a strong point and sort of trying to shatter that. He needs to sort of, you know, try and bait Angreifen into an engagement that favours G.A.T more than he does Angreifen. And you certainly don't do that by attacking head-on. That's a small issue, just baiting yourself into engagement that favours your opponent, which is... Wow. Self-baiting? That sounds a bit dirty. Anyways, Puma Panther on the move there, big move there. Note, of course, he realised what's going on. This is going to move up the infantry to flank here, cut off retreat pass with a host of light machine guns. Just a massive horde. A wall of death. Threatening the infantry to get wiped out. Probably should have spread out there because, I mean, at this point, being increasingly thinking there's a Pershing out, in which case, you know, a huge blob like that is prime real estate for a Pershing-sized versus shell. Seizing the western fuel point, good. Angreifen thus splitting up his forces as well, though perhaps realising he could get his men blown to very tiny chunks. There you go, big push. Double machine guns backing up, they're pampering back up the Pack 40s. And G.A.T very wisely disengages from this engagement as it is not in his favour whatsoever. He could try and fight it out, but he'd just get murdered. Fixing up the Pershing, he's attempting, but they'll take hits here from the Panther, the Puma, and the Entertainment running up here. Pershing down to less than a half level ready, but Sugarfather pushing back the Panther, giving G.A.T a bit more time, a bit more respite, but the situation seems to be crumpling away there for him. Supported by heavy machine gun fire there from Angreifen. 212 to 217. Angreifen's almost now got the lead over G.A.T again. Puma Bauer has actually managed to stay alive for all of this. Quite impressive work there by Angreifen. Pershing being steadily fixed. He's getting more reactions to assist with repairs. That's definitely a good idea there, I would say, for G.A.T and the 1st Armoured. Additional fun fact about the Puma, but actually was a mix of different elements from different projects. For some, the turret itself was from the Leopard reconnaissance tank, but that itself was actually scrapped, and so came about the Puma instead. Even more fun fact about that turret, there was actually a single Lux reconnaissance tank very late in the war that actually got a turret from a Puma matched upon it. And saw a little bit of service. Puma now being pursued here by the Pershing, going through the S-mount fields, clearing away there for G.A.T's infantry. Puma shoots the Pershing, gets a nice hit with the target weak point, blinding the Pershing. Nice shoots there. Panther's going to move up here to flank back up with the anti-tank guns. Very nice move there as well. That's going to make it harder here for G.A.T to get his Pershing out of the situation there. Pack's moving up. Puma could also be back into pursuit here of the Pershing. There you go. Panther's taking heavy damage. Looks like Angreifen might have committed here against G.A.T. Miscalculated, and G.A.T's not able to punish Angreifen for the mistake. That's not good. Unless you G.A.T, in which case it's definitely good. And there you go, the Panther is down. Angreifen there punished for his mistake, his hubris. Of course, he's got plenty of resources to replace it, so it's not that big of a loss. Almost got the Pershing, but looks like G.A.T is able to salvage the Pershing for now. Angreifen there can easily call in a second Panzerkampfwagen 5. He's still got most of the map, he's getting most of the victory points, and he's getting most of the resources. I mean, G.A.T's situation is overall, while the Panther instead has not changed significantly much from it, because overall map control and resource flow and victory point flow is still not exactly in G.A.T's favour. He's still going to have to work a lot hard, and he's going to really have to do some serious work there with the Pershing to win this game. Angreifen, I think, could benefit from more mines. S-mines, and definitely what he's by laying down on the victory points. Very good. Telemines could also be a good idea here versus G.A.T and the 1st Armoured Division. Second Panther almost done. Puma there being fixed up. Send the armor piercing rounds here on the Rifleman. Mortar fire joining in against the Captain. Looks like we're going to bunker up to cover the eastern side here as well. Angreifen being very thorough. Because he's got the resource. I mean, you've got a lot of spare resources. And, you know, for PopCap, building bunkers is actually a good way to use those spare resources. So, thumbs up there to Angreifen. 88 points versus 212. Pershing goes for it. Panther number 2 up here for Angreifen. Panther moving up the centre here for Das Vaterland. Pinmark machine on the way there. 73 points left here for G.A.T for the 1st Armoured Division as the Panzerlehr continues to fight a, well, blocking action. There you go. G.A.T surrenders, having been seemingly broken in spirit here by the German army. I mean, for the most of the part again, he just had a good upper hand, good to control the map. But again, that one assault there just completely switched the game around. He just suffered so heavy casualties while achieving next to nothing. And again, really highlights how he should have used smoke. Angreifen, meanwhile, again, struggled a bit in the early game. So, say, played safely, nicely, slowly build up. Had an interesting strategy going on there. Was able to turn things around slowly. Again, once that, you know, catastrophic assault went through, they were able to really gain control of the map, and compared with, you know, his opponent, he used mines and all that, he made better use of his doctrine, ensuring that G.A.T could not get back into the game easily, and so more or less lost. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. You've learned something from it. I hope it gives you some valuable ideas, some lessons for your own games. So did subscribe, like, share, comment, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. And if you like what I do, you can donate or pledge on Patreon. Links are in the video description. Every dollar keeps me, you know, doing this day after day, so do consider supporting. This is Imperial Lengthy. Cheers. Thank you for watching. You all have a wonderful audience. Bye.